Hello students, I am your Pawan sir from Shiyoti Educational Group. Today we will start chapter number 3 of physics, that is motion in a straight line. In this chapter we will cover the following points. The points are introduction, position, path length and displacement, average velocity and average speed, instantaneous velocity and speed, acceleration, kinetic equation for uniformly accelerated motion, and relative velocity. Actually, class, you have already been studying these points in your ninth class. So, I think you will be familiar about these points. No need to worry. Students, first of all, I will suggest you to note down each and everything which I am speaking to explain this chapter. Each and everything. If you want to make a proper notes, then you have to follow my these points. Now, first of all, mechanics. What is mechanics? Mechanics is the branch of physics that deal with the conditions of rest or motion of the material objects around us. Now come to the sub branches of mechanics. There are total three sub branches: statics, kinematics, and dynamics. Now come to the statics. It is the branch of mechanics that deals with the study of objects at rest or in equilibrium, even when they are under the action of several forces. The measurement of time is not essential in statics. Next one, kinematics. It is the branch of mechanics that deals with the study of motion of an object without considering the cause of motion. Come to the dynamics. It is the branch of mechanics that deals with the study of motion of objects, taking into consideration the cause of their motion. Now the next topic, rest and motion. An object is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with respect to its surrounding and with time. Now, motion. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surrounding and with respect to the passage of time. For example, a moving train, we can say a moving train is the example of an motion, and a book lying on a table is an example of an rest. Next one, point object. Now first of all we will go to the absolute rest. That is, what is absolute rest? Actually, there is no any object in the universe for which we can say that that object is in the position of absolute rest. Okay, there is no any object in the universe. Now come to the point object. If the position of an object changed by the distance is much greater than its own size in a reasonable duration of time, then the object may be regarded as a point object. Okay, now the next one, the reference point. Now for understanding the reference point, we have to go to the NCERT book. In order to specify the position, we need to use a reference point and a set of axes. Okay, it is basically convenient to choose a rectangular coordinate system consisting of three mutually perpendicular axes. We can name these axes as x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Now the point of intersection of these three axes is called the origin, and it serves as a reference point. Now come to the rectilinear motion. Okay, actually the motion of an object along a straight line is known as the rectilinear motion, and our chapter is totally based on the rectilinear motion because the name of this chapter is the motion in a straight line. Path length. Consider the motion of a car along a straight line. We will consider the two cases of the motion. In first case, the car moves from O to P. Then the distance moved by the car is OP, that is plus of 360 meter. Now the distance is called the path length that is traversed by the car. In the second case, the car moves from O to P and then moves back from P to Q. During this case, the distance will be, or you can say the path length will be OP plus PQ, that is equals to 360 plus 120, that is 480 meter. Now, one point about the path length, that it is a scalar quantity. Displacement. Displacement of an object in a given interval of time is defined as the shortest distance between the two positions of the object in a particular direction during that time, and is given by the vector drawn from the initial position to its final position. It is a vector quantity. Now, displacement is the change in position that is represented by del x, that is equal to x2 minus x1. Now the path length is greater or equal to the magnitude of displacement between the same points. In the diagram which is given, the displacement of the car from P to Q is 240 meter minus 360 meter. That will be equal to minus of 120 meter. The magnitude of displacement may or may not be equal to the path length traversed by the object. Position time graph. The magnitude of the displacement for a moving object may be zero, but the path length is not zero. Now come to the graph. Consider a simple case in which an object is stationary. For example, a car is standing at x equal to 40 meter. The position time graph is a straight line parallel to the time axis as shown in figure A. Now, if an object is moving along the straight line and covers equal distance in equal intervals of time, it is said to be uniform motion along a straight line, and its position time graph is given in figure number B. Now let us consider the motion of a car that starts from rest at time t equal to 0 second from the origin and picks up speed till t equal to 10 second, and thereafter moves with a uniform speed till t equal to 18 second. Then the brakes are applied and the car stops at t equal to 20 second and x equal to 296 meter. Its position time graph is shown in figure number C. Speed. Speed of an object is defined as the ratio of path length and the corresponding time taken by the object. The formula will be speed equal to distance traveled upon time taken. Speed is a scalar quantity and its unit is meter per second. Its dimensional formula will be m0 L1 t to the power minus 1. Now come to the uniform speed. An object is said to be traveling with uniform speed if it covers equal distance in equal interval of time. Now come to the variable speed. An object is said to be traveling with the variable speed if it covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. Average speed. Average speed is defined as the total path length traveled divided by the total time taken during which the motion has taken place. Average is equal to total path length divided by total time interval. It is the scalar quantity and again its unit is meter per second. Suppose a body covers distance s1, s2, s3 with a speed v1, v2 and v3 respectively in the same direction. Then the average speed will be total distance traveled upon total time taken, and that is equals to s1 plus s2 plus s3 up to so on divided by t1 plus t2 plus t3 up to so on. This formula will be s1 plus s2 plus s3 up to so on, divided by s1 upon v1 plus s2 upon v2 plus s3 upon v3 up to so on. Now come to the instantaneous speed. The average velocity tells us how fast an object has been moving over a given interval of time, but does not tell us how fast it moves at a different instant of time during that interval. For this, we define the instantaneous speed. The formula will be v equals to del x upon del t, where del t tends to 0. Please keep in your mind that del t is not equal to 0. Here, del t tends to 0. It means the value of del t is near about the 0, but not exactly equal to 0. Now, in the differentiation, which you will already see in mathematics, that del x upon del t when del t tends to 0 can be written as v equal to dx upon dt. Velocity. Velocity of an object is defined as the ratio of displacement and the corresponding time interval taken by an object. Velocity equal to displacement upon time interval, and it is a vector quantity. Now come to the unit of velocity. This is also meter per second. Now uniform velocity. A body is said to be moving with uniform motion if it undergoes equal displacement in equal interval of time. Variable velocity. It is defined as the ratio of displacement and the corresponding time interval taken by the object. Velocity equal to displacement upon time taken. It is also the vector quantity. Average velocity. It is defined as the change in position or displacement, which is denoted by del x, divided by time interval, which is denoted by del t, in which the displacement occurs. It is also a vector quantity. Average velocity equal to del x upon del t. Instantaneous velocity. The velocity of an object at a given instant of a time is called its instantaneous velocity. When a body is moving with a uniform velocity, its instantaneous velocity equal to average velocity, and it is also equal to its uniform velocity. Position time graph for different velocity. If we have a given a position time graph, then the slope of the straight line P1 P2 connecting the initial position P1 to the final position P2 is denote the velocity of the moving object. Now the average velocity can be positive or negative depending upon the sign of the displacement. It is 0 if the displacement is 0. It is positive if the displacement is positive, and it is negative if the displacement is negative. So in the graph which is given below, represent the position time graph for a moving object. A represent the positive velocity, B represent the position time graph for a moving object with negative velocity, and C represent the position time graph in which object is at rest position. Acceleration. First of all, we will go to the accelerated motion. What is accelerated motion? If the velocity of an object keeps changing with time, then such motion is said to be an accelerated motion. There are two types of accelerated motion. First is uniform accelerated motion. Second is non-uniform accelerated motion. Uniform accelerated motion. An object is said to be moving with uniform accelerated motion. It means if the change in velocity of an object in each time is constant, then such type of motion is known as uniform accelerated motion. Non-uniform accelerated motion. If an object is said to be moving with non-uniform accelerated motion, if the change in velocity of an object in each unit of a time is not constant, then such type of motion is known as non-uniform accelerated motion. Acceleration. It is defined as the rate of change in velocity of the object. Acceleration equal to change in velocity upon time taken. Again, it is a vector quantity and its SI unit is meter per second square. There are few types of acceleration which we will read here. Uniform acceleration. A body is said to be moving with uniform acceleration if its velocity changes by equal amount in equal interval of time. Variable acceleration. A body is said to be moving with variable acceleration if its velocity changes by unequal amounts in equal interval of time. Next one is the average acceleration. A body moving with variable acceleration, then the average acceleration of the body for the given motion is defined as the ratio of total change in velocity of the body during the motion to the total time taken. Average acceleration equal to total change in velocity divided by total time taken, that is del v upon del t. Instantaneous acceleration. The acceleration of the object at a given instant of the time or at the given point of motion is called instantaneous acceleration. The formula will be total change in velocity divided by total time taken, that is del v upon del t, where del t tends to 0. Now students, come to the position time graph for different acceleration. If the velocity of an object is v0 at t equals to 0 and v at t, then we have the formula of average or mean acceleration, that is denoted by bar on a, or you can say a bar, equals to v minus v0 upon t minus 0. You already seen the formula v equals to v0 plus at in your 9th class. Now one more thing, that acceleration can be positive, it can be negative or 0. The position time graph for different cases, means positive, negative and 0, are given on this slide. Now one thing you should note, that graph curves upward for positive acceleration, graph curve is downwards for negative acceleration, and it is the straight line for 0 acceleration. Velocity time graph for motion with constant acceleration. Let us see how velocity time graph looks like for some simple cases. Case number A, if an object is moving in positive direction with positive acceleration. For example, the motion of a car whose graph is shown in this slide between t equal to 0 second to t equal to 10 second. Now case number B, an object is moving in positive direction with negative acceleration. Now for example, the motion of the car whose graph is shown in this slide between t equal to 18 second to t equal to 20 second. Case number C, an object is moving in negative direction with a negative acceleration. For example, the motion of a car moving from O in the figure which is given on the yellow side of the slide above one in negative x direction with the increasing speed. Now come to the D. An object is moving in positive direction till time t1 and then turns back with the same negative acceleration. For example, the motion of a car from O to point Q in the yellow side of the figure till the time t1 with decreasing speed and turning back and moving with the same negative acceleration. Now one thing you should keep in your mind, that area under the curve represents the displacement over a given interval of time. This is the specification of the velocity time graph. I repeat, velocity time graph for any moving object is that the area under the curve represents the displacement over a given interval of time. Kinematics equation for uniformly accelerated motion. In this topic, we will derive the equation of motion for an object moving with constant acceleration along a straight line. The equations are also known as first equation of motion, second equation of motion, and third equation of motion. The first equation of motion is v equals to v0 plus at, that is also known as velocity time relation. Second relation is x equal to x0 plus v0 t plus half at square, or s equal to v0 t plus half at square. This equation is also known as position time relation. Third relation is v square equals to v naught square plus 2a x minus x naught. This is also equal to v naught square plus 2as. This equation is also known as position velocity relation. Now one by one we will see the derivation of each relation. Now the derivation of velocity time relation. Now equations for uniformly accelerated motion along a straight line. Consider an object moving with constant acceleration along a positive direction of x-axis. As shown in the figure, x naught is the position of an object at instant t equal to 0. X is the position of the object at the instant t. V naught is the velocity of the object at instant t equal to 0. And v is the velocity of the object at instant t. Now velocity after a certain time. By the definition, we already know the acceleration equal to change in velocity upon time taken. So a equals to v minus v naught upon t minus 0. Now simplify this relation. We get at equals to v minus v naught and v equals to v naught plus at. This is the velocity time relation. Now come to the derivation of position time relation. The distance covered in a certain time. As we know that average velocity of the object in time interval 0 to t is given by displacement upon time, that is x minus x naught upon t minus 0. Now simplify this one. X minus x naught equal to v average into t. But v average equal to initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. This is the mean velocity. Now this is equal to v naught plus v upon 2. Now we have two equation of v average. First is x minus x naught upon t and second is one is v naught plus v upon 2. Now x minus x naught equals to v naught plus v upon 2 into t. That is equals to 2v naught plus at upon 2 into t. As we already know that v equal to v naught plus at. So after simplifying, x minus x naught equal to v naught t plus half at square. Now after simplification, x equal to x naught plus v naught t plus half at square. Now consider in mind that x minus x naught is the distance traveled in time t, and we can also replace x minus x naught by s. So our formula will be s equal to v naught t plus half at square. This is the position time relation. Now come to the derivation of position velocity relation. Velocity at a certain position. We know that v equals to v naught plus at and v minus v naught equal to at. Now average velocity into time gives the displacement. So v plus v naught upon 2. This is the average velocity into time into t equal to displacement, that is x minus x naught. Now simplify this one. V plus v naught equals to 2 upon t into x minus x naught. Now multiply equation number 4 and 5. We get v plus v naught into v minus v naught equal to 2 upon t x minus x naught into at. Now simplify this one. We get v square minus v naught square equals to 2a into x minus x naught. After simplification, we get v square equals to v naught square plus 2a x minus x naught. Again we know that x minus x naught equal to s, that is the distance traveled in time t. Therefore v square equals to v naught square plus 2as. This is the position velocity relation. Some standard elementary integrals. Now some standard elementary integrals along with their results on differentiation are given below. You have to learn each and every result as a formula. This will help you in the further chapters. Okay students, there are total 14 results which you have to learn. I will suggest you please don't skip any formula. Just make a chart of these formulas and paste on your study table. Equations of motion by calculus method. In this method, we will again derive all three equations of motion but by using the calculus method. Now come to the derivation of first equation of motion. Now acceleration is a equal to dv upon dt, that is equal to dv equal to a dt. Now we will consider something. When time t equal to 0, velocity equal to u, and when time t equal to small t, velocity will be v small v. Now integrate dv equal to a dt within the above limit. The limits are t equal to 0, u equals to velocity, t equals to time t, p is the final velocity. Now integrate dv from u to v equals to integrate a dt from 0 to t. Now the integration is only possible when you know the formulas of integration and differentiation, which I have already been discussed in previous slide. So students, you have to learn these all formulas. Now after integration we get the result v minus u equal to a t minus 0, and that is equals to v equal to u plus at. This is the first equation of motion. Now come to the second equation of motion. We already know that velocity can be defined as v equal to ds upon dt. Simplification, ds equal to v dt, and replace v equal to u plus at, that is will be ds equal to u plus at into dt. Now again we will consider time t equal to 0, distance travel equal to 0, and when time t equal to small t, distance travel will be small s. Now integrate ds equal to u plus at dt by considering the limit, that is time t equal to 0, s equal to 0, and time t equal to t, s equal to small s. Now after integration we get the result s minus 0 equals to u t minus 0 plus a bracket start t square upon 2 minus 0 bracket close. Now simplify this one, we will get s equal to ut plus half at square. This is the second equation of motion. Now come to the third equation of motion. By the definition of acceleration and velocity, we already know that a equal to dv upon dt. Now multiply dv upon dt by ds. We get dv upon ds into ds upon dt. Now we already know that ds upon dt is equal to v. So result will be dv upon ds into v. Now this will be equal to a ds equal to v dv. Now again we have to consider the limit. When time t equal to 0, velocity is small v, and distance travel is equal to 0. And when time t equal to small t, velocity will be v and distance travel equal to small s. Now integrate above equation. The equation was a ds equals to v dv. Now after integration we get the result a bracket start s minus 0 bracket close equal to v square upon 2 minus u square upon 2, that is equal to 2as equals to v square minus u square, or you can say v square minus u square equal to 2as. This is the third equation of motion. Free fall. A body is released near the surface of the earth, is accelerated downward under the influence of force of gravity. In the absence of air resistance, all the bodies fall with the same acceleration near the surface of earth. This motion of body falling towards the earth from a small height is called free fall. The acceleration with which a body falls is called acceleration due to gravity, and it is denoted by small g. Generally, near the surface of the earth, value of small g is approximately equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Now, equation of motion for a freely falling body. For a freely falling body, the equation of motion will be, just we have to replace small a by small g. The first equation of motion will be v equal to u plus gt. Second, s equal to ut plus half gt square. And third, v square equals to u square plus 2gs. Now for a body falling freely under the action of gravity, g is taken positive, and if a body thrown vertically upward, g is taken negative. Now few general points. First is stopping distance. Stopping distance of a vehicle when brakes are applied to a moving vehicle. The distance it travels before stopping is called stopping distance. Second, reaction time. When a situation demands our immediate action, it takes some time before we really respond. Reaction time is the time a person takes to observe, think, and act. Relative velocity. You must be familiar with the experience of traveling in a train and being overtaken by another train moving in the same direction as you are. While that train must be traveling faster than you to be able to pass you, it does seem slower to you than it would be to someone standing on the ground and watching both the trains. In case both the trains have the same velocity with respect to the ground, then to you the other train would seem to be not moving at all. To understand such observation, we now introduce the concept of relative velocity. The relative velocity of object A with respect to object B is denoted by VAB, that is equal to VA minus VB. This is the vector term. Similarly, the relative velocity of object B with respect to object A is denoted by VBA, that is equal to VB minus VA. Now, to understand the concept of relative velocity, we will consider the three cases. In which case number 1, when the two objects moving with the same velocity in the same direction. See the graph. According to the graph, we can say the position time graph are straight line and parallel to each other. There are the relative velocity VAB or VBA is 0 in these cases. Case number B of relative velocity. When the two objects moving with the different velocity in the same direction. Consider that velocity of A is greater than the velocity of B. Now see the graph carefully. The time at which they meet is t equal to 3 seconds. You can see that dotted line represents the 3 seconds. At this instant, they are both at the position equal to 70 meter. Thus, we can say that object A overtake object B at this time. Now, case number C of relative velocity, when the two objects moving with the different velocity in the opposite direction. Observe the graph carefully. Now, after observing the graph, come to the points. The two objects meet at t equal to 1 second. The velocity of B relative to A is denoted by VBA, that is equal to minus 10, minus 20, that is minus 30 meter per second. And it is equal to minus of VAB. In this case, the magnitude of VBA and VAB are both equal, that is 30 meter per second. But this 30 meter per second is greater than the magnitude of velocity of A or that of B. If the object under consideration are two trains, then for a person sitting on either of the two, the other trains seem to go very fast. Students, this chapter has been completed from my side. I will suggest you to try to understand the solved example of this chapter from NCERT book and attempt all the exercise question answer of NCERT book of this chapter. Thank you.